Hi everyone, 5 biggest misconceptions when it comes to wine. So the first one I want to talk about is that age makes a wine better. In certain cases, this is true, and many times we get people coming into the shop saying that they found this dusty bottle at the back of their kitchen cupboard that's been standing up and there for years, and if it's worth anything. So when I ask them to show me a picture, I take a look, and more often than not, I shake my head in utter disappointment. This here is why. So age affects wine in various different ways, and age is good when it comes to quite heavy, chunky and grippy tannic red wines, not so much when it comes to light, delicate, ethereal styles of red. Also, when we're looking at white, you want something that's been heavy and rich and full and fat, not the light, crisp, fresh styles. So I've got 3 examples here from the shop. Is our Lobster Reef Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand. Now this is probably one of the youngest vintages we have from 2021 here. Sauvignon Blanc is not really meant to be aged. You want to drink it when it's young, fresh, vibrant, full of those citrus tropical fruits that you love. If you were to leave this one for 5-10 years, all would happen was the fresh fruit would start to become much more cooked. It would start to become much more funky and start to, dare I say it, taste a little bit like cabbage, which you might like. I personally don't. White wines of a young, fresh style need to be drunk in their youth. Then we're looking at this one, which is a Cabernet Sauvignon from Buena Vista Winery over in California, Napa Valley. Now this is a big, heavy wine from 2014. Not necessarily tannic, but it does have a bit of structure left in there. Therefore, age is really, really good for this wine. So if you were to be able to lie this one down for your 5 to 10 years, the really intense, ripe, jammy fruits will start to develop into a little bit of a slightly savoury characteristic to it, becoming a little bit more meaty, a little bit more leafy, and a little bit more coffee bean like that runs through it, along with the big, powerful, ripe red fruits that you will have there. So it will become fantastically complex. That's not to say you can't drink it now. I thoroughly recommend that you do, but this will get better with age. Third up, we have this, which is the Rare Champagne, which is a vintage champagne. This is from 2008, so this is monumentally old in terms of its existence. And vintage champagnes are made to age, everybody. So therefore, when you buy a vintage champagne, the producer is telling you that this is the best one that they can produce out of this year. So it is merited to age this wine for a bit further, and it will gain in complexity. It will stay a quality driven wine, and you will enjoy it for many, many years to come. The second misconception that I want to address is that wines bottled under cork are better than wines bottled under screw cap. This, unfortunately, is yet another fallacy that I must dispel. Corks were once upon a time the most popular closure when it came to wine, but that was because the industry of screw caps, or stelvin that it's also called, had yet to be thoroughly discovered. Now screw caps are everywhere. When it comes to aging wine, there are experiments ongoing both in white wine and red wine of people bottling the same wine under cork and under screw cap to see if it helps in aging. Cork is known to help in aging, that's for sure, because it has minute holes in the cork itself, which is there's a little smidgen of oxygen to get into the wine to help it develop and gain in complexity as it ages. Whereas screw cap has none at all, except the very minute little holes that are underneath the end of the cap there. However, most screw cap wines are meant to be drank young. They are the vibrant, they are the ethereal, they are the beautifully scented styles of red and white wines. It does not matter at all what form of wine is in there, it is still going to be very enjoyable. The only thought you have to put into it is whether you are going to age the wine at all, and if you do, then think about how long you are going to be aging it. But in terms of quality, they're both the same, people.
The punt. Now people think the deeper the punt, the more higher quality the wine is. Now this isn't true. The champagne right here is one of the best champagnes on the market. This was made for the Kaiser Alexander. He didn't want a punt in it because he didn't want to be poisoned. Because he was so scared of being poisoned that people would drop things in there. As you can see, the wine is also clear, so you could see if there's anything in there. This is one of the best champagnes on the market, whereas this is quite a cheap wine, as you can see from the price comparison. Now that is myth debunked. All right, I'm gonna pass it over to Matt now.
Misconception number 4, everybody, is that red wine cannot be chilled. Well, once again, that is a downright lie, everybody. It depends what style of red wine that you have. I've got an example here for this one, the Domaine Champ-Segal Chateau Neuf de Pape. Now, this is a blend of grape varieties and a very heavy wine with a tannin, with lots of thick, juicy flavour. All you will do if you were to chill this red wine would to essentially what we would call dumb the flavours down. You would amalgamate all these into one distinct kind of flavour and it would just taste very, very ordinary. The acidity of the wine would go higher naturally as well because you are chilling a wine, so it becomes a little bit tartar and a bit crisper. And the tannin level in here, although would still be would be a lot more chewier and very, very difficult to drink. I have as the second wine here though, which is the Saint Amour Cru Beaujolais that we do here. Now this is a lighter style of wine. It's more of a perfumed, gentler form of liquid. It has more red fruit characteristics in it. It has also a very high level of acidity in it too. So therefore, by chilling this wine, you are making the wine a little bit more refreshing. You are treating it a little bit differently to you are here. This wine here can be aged. This will become more complex and heavier. This one is meant to be drank in its youth. It's fresher, it's easier going, it's a much more enjoyable drink in its early years. And common misconception number 5, everybody, is that the darker the rosé, the sweeter it is. Well, I am here to tell you that is an absolute fallacy, one and all, because everyone must remember that when it comes to rosé and wine in general, the colour of the wine comes directly from the skins of the grape and nothing more. So all the colour that you see here in all of these rosés comes from the skins of the grape and the amount of time that the juice of the grape is in contact with the skin during the period of fermentation, turning it from grape juice into wine. So we can look at these two fine examples here where we have the Bardolino Chiaretto here and we have the Ultimate Provence Rosé, two of our best-selling rosés here at the moment in time. You can see that these are pale in comparison to the third one that I've chosen, which is the Silla de Silos Rosado. These, the grape varieties in here are the Valpolicella grape varieties of Corvina and Croatina and Rondinella. Here, again, a blend of 4 different grape varieties, Grenache, Cinsault, Syrah, and a white grape variety called Rolla. So here they have had a very small period of skin contact during the fermentation period, drawing off just a little smidge of pinkness into the wine. They are both dry wines. This, the Silla de Silos Rosé, they are come from deeper, darker skinned grape varieties. The skin has been left in there for a little bit longer, creating this lovely salmon pink hue. More fruit in this one in comparison to the more perfumed styles of the previous 2 bottles, but still a dry wine and still gorgeous in its production. Well, thanks once again everybody for tuning in. I'll say thank you very much to my video producer here, Josh, who has also got involved in this week's video with his little tidbits of wine knowledge. We'll be back again for another week with some wonderful wine-based entertainment. Check you soon.
See ya.